Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ford here from Ford's Tool Reviews. Today we have a very special tool here that I think is going to be very versatile in your toolbox, workshop, junkyard, construction zone, anywhere that you may need some versatility, whether you're drawing, marking, drilling, grinding, cutting, buffing, sanding, etching, whatever you may be doing. This is the Ryobi more expensive model P460 variable speed multi-tool. This has been a tool that I have loved to use in my shop for months. It is very versatile. While it is not the most compact, it is meant to be used in a large workplace setting. And when I say workplace setting, I don't mean in an office, though I guess you could use it in a renovation if you had to. I'm talking about in the construction site. So here's the tool. This is a very, very unique tool. It comes with a lot of different bits that you can use, whether you want to engrave your name or whether you need to cut something off and you don't want to go look for your angle grinder or your cutoff wheel. This can save you a lot of time. These retail for $80 at Home Depot. Yes, $80, but when paired with a Ryobi 1 Plus 4 amp hour battery, this will last about 4 to maybe 5 hours, depending on how fast you set the speed. And it's that easy. It's not hybrid. It's not like the Ryobi hybrid stereo or the hybrid light, so it runs off of direct current only. I'm using a 4 amp hour P197 battery. This thing is almost a year old, and is one of my favorite batteries to have here in the shop, although I would like to have a 6 or 9 in the future, because that will make this last a very long time, and this thing pulls a lot of current. So it's easy as slapping the battery in. There you go. Now, this one has a couple of drawbacks. One of which, because the pen has a much thicker wire shaft, it's a little bit harder than a smaller base model to get the engravings or the cuts that you want, or the pen markings if you want to mark a measurement and you can't find a pencil. That's good for this, or this is good for that. Excuse me. This is very good for that. I'll show you that one day in a video. In the future, hopefully. You also have a couple of sanding wheels. You have some grinding wheels. You have a cutoff wheel and screw with some, I believe they call those friction rotation keepers. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't use this thing that much, so I don't know. Didn't really do a lot of research on it, just asked for it as a gift. It is highly recommended to wear safety goggles with this, and for argument's sake, I'm going to use the engraving tool. So, well, this is a engraver pinhole marker. And this tool does get quite loud. They do give you a little chuck wrench for the threaded chuck. This works just like a drill press does when it comes to the chuck and the wrench. Try to tighten it up, not too tight. And then you want to make sure that when you turn this on that you're on the minimum speed, which again is 5,000 rotations per minute instead of 34,000, which is going to make a heck of a noise and is going to potentially could throw your tool bit out of the tool. So, and then all you do is check your battery's connection, set it to the lowest setting, and then flip the switch. And she activates. Now, this will get a little loud, so didn't realize my hair was like that. So this will get loud. Again, this goes up to 34,000 rotations per minute. So, say you're engraving something, you're using an engraving bit. Most people will do an engraving at that speed. Some people will do it at this speed. Let's bring it all the way up. So you can hear how loud that is. It's highly recommended, depending on what you're doing with this tool, to wear hearing protection. Ryobi does not mention that in the manual, but I would recommend you do it. The correct way to put the pen back in, so you see, I've been doing this wrong the entire time. So there's the wire, the wire or the shaft where this rotates. When you attach this, you have to, it's like a half moon. You have to attach the half moon to the other side of the half moon to get a full circle, and that is your keeping lock. So that may not be what it's called, but that's what I'm going to call it, because I don't care. And then when you want to put it back, it goes in like that, and this thing holds it. Now there doesn't seem to be anything holding this in other than the assembly to the tool itself, so hopefully this never comes apart, or you may lose that pen thing. I think it's very handy to have this because it's very easy to grab a hold of it when you need it, hang it back up, sort of like an old landline phone. You have onboard bit storage. You get buffing wheels, you get buffing compound, which let me see if I can find the buffing compound. It is red. It is not Ryobi green, which to me it is kind of disappointing. There it is. I haven't used it. Maybe when I get to more buffing projects, I'll use it. You get 4 buffing wheels. You get, I believe, 4 small, medium, and large standing discs. You get 4, 5, or 6 cutoff discs, and you get all of your tools in this other side here. Your sander, your grinders, your cone grinder, your cutoff wheel holder, your brush wheel, your engraver, your other engraver, and your wire brush. So I guess I can give this thing a score. What is my opinion on the Ryobi P460 multi-speed multi-tool? Well, for starters, I like the fact that this thing can go up to, I believe it was 30,000 RPM. That's really, really fast. 34, excuse me. That's really fast. The problem I have with that is what I've come to find out from doing all this and using this tool for the last couple of months, it tends to drain 4 amp hour batteries fairly quickly. I do like that it's not a pressurized switch that you can just flick the switch, manually rotate the dial with more accuracy, similar to the soldering station that they have, I do like that feature. I like the fact that the shaft stays in place once you put it in, unless you need to take it out to change it out, or I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that, but maybe you got a faulty one, then you make it easy to change it. For buffing projects, I think this would actually be very handy, although most people, unless you're buffing a piece of steel or something, or a very small, fine item, maybe it got shipped with an imperfection and you just want to work on it, I guess, okay, I'm glad they give you polishing compound if you want to polish something. And again, I'm not being a skeptic. I'm just saying that most of the people who use this tool are going to be using it for cutting things, drilling things, engraving things, drilling holes, maybe grinding metal sharp edges with the grinding stone bits. It potentially could use this for sharpening something, maybe a pocket knife or something. I could see that. My verdict on this, it's $79. It's really fast as far as rotating speed is concerned. It does eat through batteries, so I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10 for what it is. Remember, Ryobi, I know they're going to hate me for saying this, they're not a professional tool brand. They're not going to be. If they were a professional tool brand, but they are, they'd be more expensive. But they are good enough. Just put it that way. It's good enough. It'll get the job done. And hey, at max 34,000 rotations per minute, what can you not do with this thing? You also have no cords to worry with, like your old Dremels. You used to have to plug in an outlet, you had to find an extension cord. I do have another video coming up with a very special tool that also goes with Ryobi, that this thing, depending on what you're doing out in a field, could definitely benefit from, as well as their drills, their impact drivers, their impact driver drills, their impact wrenches. The auto ratchet I just reviewed is also very handy with this other addition tool. I can't complain. For $79, could you ask for more? I mean, again, they do sell another version of this. I believe it's, I think it might be cheaper. Let me see here. Yeah, they're both. No, this other one, if you can't afford that one, the same one, the different version that's smaller at Home Depot, which I'm actually toying with getting, is $45. It's around the same price that I paid for my first audio radio tool, which I'll be doing a review on very soon. It's going to be very tricky to do that because of YouTube and the way it's set up, but I'm not going to complain. Again, you do get a lot more for your buck with this one. I just justify this because even though you're spending a lot more money, you are getting a lot more value as far as the extra accessories you get and the extra parts that you get, which you can get this on Ryobi's website, but it's good that they offer it. So for me, it's a solid, I have to give it a 7 out of 10. The reason I say that, like I said before, is it's going to chew your batteries out at max RPM, and there's nothing you could do about that unless you have another product, which I'm going to review here in the future. Then you're not going to be able to avoid that at all. It's not going to be possible. So anyway, guys, that's my review of the Ryobi P460 18-volt variable speed rotary tool. Is it handy? Yes. It's honestly one of the tools I would put in the back of a truck. I mean, that's not even an understatement. This thing could go in a truck toolbox. Because I'm telling you, with all the applications, along with the soldering iron, and another abundance of Ryobi's products, where can you go wrong? I mean, you could spend $30 less and get the smaller version, and then get the bit set online if you wanted to save a few bucks. But for what you're getting with this deal, it's awesome. And if you get the, as a side note, if you do decide to get the Ryobi, buy a set of batteries, get a free tool, this is one of those tools that's included. So, and this has a large versatile range of possibilities. A large versatile range of possibilities for projects, from cutting angle iron to assisting the welder, to assisting the millwright, to assisting the auto detailer, because the buffing wheels in the compound. The carpenter with the rounding sandpaper discs. If you can't find your belt sander, Ryobi has a belt sander, but if you can't find that, you've got it on your Dremel. I mean, it's made to be a versatile tool. What can I say? Again, I stand by. Actually, I'm going to change it. 7.5 out of 10. 7.5 out of 10 is my final verdict. Again, the only thing that would make this thing a little bit better is not having to buy the 100-piece set and only charging $100 for the whole thing. You're getting a lot more value for your money, and come on, it's $100. I mean, rotary dial and the ability to hang it on a tool bench. You know how much of a powerhouse that would be if you had one of the other tools we're going to review, one of the accessories to this tool, plus this. You'd be having a field day all day, just knocking out your projects. So anyway, that's my review of the Ryobi P460 variable speed rotary tool with several different attachments. It's for drilling, it's for engraving, it's for polishing, it's for cutting things off like metal and wood and plastic and fiberglass, sanding, grinding, polishing, brushing metal welds, brushing metal as a prep to clean. Possibilities with this tool are endless. Solid 7 out of 10. Until next time, I'm Ford, and $79, man. Better if you get it with the promo. Thanks for watching, y'all.